It's another day, another dollar. It's Friday, and there are more bugs in the game. Isn't it wonderful? Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another Galaxy of Heroes video with me, your bald boy Scribe. How the devil are you doing? And happy Friday. Let's welcome in the weekend like we're waiting for it. All right. So, Carson Teva coming in with a little bit of a wet flop. A little bit of a wet flop. However, he is improving scores across the board, which is great. It's just annoying when CG come in and introduce sort of brand new concepts, new teams to the game, and then have us use it in a game mode that penalizes you for using it in the first place. And that's what they've been doing with Colosseum and with Carson Teva. Let's have a chat. So we have already seen how Carson Teva going up against the Jotaz, or Joe as I like to call him, it's just not a good matchup because you end up just essentially giving the Jotaz loads of offense and turn meter because of all the buffs that you've got. He dispels on a basic, so you can hardly ever counterattack him. And Carson Teva's entire kit is about retribution, and CG seems to be putting us in bosses that always either dispel it or can't be counterattacked or put daze or put buff immunity. Everything, basically, all of the bosses so far have got one way or another of kind of shutting down his most important mechanic, right? So let's talk about the latest one. The latest one is the Krayt Dragon, and I was kind of hopeful because when we read the Krayt Dragon's kit, right, let's go featured info, go to the Krayt Dragon, we're like, okay, Krayt Dragon has technically four abilities. His basic, deal physical damage to the target, inflict 2 damage over times for 2 turns. Nothing in there, no dispelling, no can't be counterattacked, right? So his basic, we're good, right? First special, dispel all buffs on all enemies and gain defense pen up for 2 turns. Deal special damage to all enemies which can't be countered, and inflict daze and poison for 2 turns. It's like, okay, fine. Special 1 can't be countered right out the rip. Also dispels. Dispels before even doing the attack, so no matter what, even if it couldn't be countered, you wouldn't be doing retribution. So it's like, okay. So 1 out of 4 so far can't be counted. His third ability is Dune Burrow. And this doesn't actually attack. So the actual Dune Burrow doesn't trigger any counterattacks, right? Dispel all debuffs on himself. He loses 40% speed, gains 50% defense, and is granted an ability Violent Eruption, okay, until he uses it. While burrowed, the Krayt Dragon cannot counterattack and is immune to turn meter removal, which is fine, right? So you're like, okay, berries, he gets rid of his buffs, he can't counterattack and all this business, right? He gets a new ability called Violent Eruption, deal physical damage to all enemies which can't critically hit or be evaded. This attack deals 5% damage for each debuff inflicted on the Krayt Dragon when used. Maximum minus 50% damage, okay? Nothing in there about dispelling or uncounterattackable. However, that ability, Violent Eruption, cannot be countered. I think it's because Dune Burrow is kind of treated as if he's stealthed. I can't tell. I don't know if it's on Swigger.gg. I had a look on Swigger.gg, and I know what you're thinking. This ability over here, Hindering Press, that's Dooku. That's Dooku's basic ability. And if you read Dooku's basic ability, it has this. These attacks have a 50% chance to inflict, stun, and ability block, and cannot be countered or evaded. His basic can't be countered, so I'm just looking for how does CG program and tag abilities that cannot be countered. And the only thing that I can see is it has this tag, the No Assist tag. So if you have a look over here, on the enemy side, current target is live, descriptive, paralysis debuff, and it has this it has this no assist tag over here, right? Constantly has these no assists. No assist. For self who is alive, no assist. Doesn't have these tags. So I think that no assist tag is what essentially means you can't counterattack it. If you also take a look at the Krayt Dragon over here with Dune Burrow, you will notice that there is a no assist tag whilst he's here. He's got immunities to delay, which is turn meter removal, and no assist. Now, I thought at first that was, oh, that means he can't counterattack himself. But actually, if you look at over here, for self is who alive, modify counterattack stat by minus 1,000,000%. I think the fact that he's got this no assist tag basically tells you, you just cannot counterattack him when he's burrowed. And we know that his other special ability, Corrosive Venom Spray, this also can't be countered. And what can we see over here on this ability? That no assist tag once again. So it's definitely this no assist tag that they've put on his burrow mechanic, and when he uses that explosive whatever it is, gastric bypass, diarrhea, whatever it is, it's got that no assist tag. So it's definitely coded this way. And I don't know if it must have been a deliberate choice by CG. It was probably just an oversight that they didn't add it to the text of burrow to say, whilst burrowed, you cannot counterattack this creature, which is just flipping annoying. I wouldn't mind it so much if it actually said somewhere over here, from Violent Eruption, it can't be countered, but nothing here states it cannot be countered. So when we look at the Krayt Dragon, we could see he's got 4 abilities. One of them does nothing, one of them can't be countered, and another of them also apparently can't be countered, even though it doesn't say it can't be countered. So the only ability that you can counterattack on Krayt Dragon is Crushing Maw, and guess what? He basically uses it once a battle because all of these have really small cooldowns. It's annoying. That being said, in my experience, using the teams that I have, based on the error levels that I have, I was able to break through in the last wave with Carcentiva through to Sector 10 with a lot of good luck. I was able to finally break through on the Jotaz, get the full completion and into Stage 10. As soon as you get to Stage 10, you're not going 10% into Stage 10. I went up to like 70% in Stage 10. That gave me a bunch of materials that I could throw on my marquee units, and I got Carcentiva, focus on Carcentiva guys. I got him up to error level 110. That's where he is capped at now. Can't go to 111 until we get another new marquee and start getting these Mark 7 Auric ability modules. That's fine. So I personally, I would prioritize Carcentiva, and then I would probably prioritize Colonel Ward, because these two work together so well. They're kind of paired off completely, and I'd go from there. So anyway, with this team, I've been able to get a pretty decent score in Sector 10, as you can see, going all the way up through Tier 10, largely to the end. Why am I not getting any audio? There we are, got the audio. Largely going through to the end. So what I would normally do against Krayt Dragon, he always starts off with his vile spit. He's a spitter, okay? This is another reason not to like the Krayt Dragon, obviously. I wouldn't use that first special from R5 because we don't really need it, right? Usually there's going to be somebody that resists the daze, so we're just going to call in Zeb to assist over here, get some good damage, boobity-boobity-boo. And with Zeb, got a couple of choices. You could use that first special. It's going to put it might put the provoked on the Krayt Dragon, which will cause him to counterattack, which is probably not something you actually want. Or you could try and use the first special on Carcentiva and give Carcentiva offense up, which is what I'm going to do here for now. After this, I'm going to put Keen Stratagem on Carcentiva. He is my highest level unit. He's also an attacker. He does the most damage out of everybody. And then I'm just going to basic over here with Colonel Ward. Krayt Dragon goes burrowed. Now it's in a situation where it can't be counterattacked, unfortunately. That doesn't say anything in Roar of the Road, doesn't say anything in here about can't be counterattacked, but it essentially treats it like it's stealthed. And over here, now this is the interesting part. When the Krayt Dragon is underground, you do actually want to use this tactical support right before the Krayt Dragon erupts. You can kind of make out over here that the Krayt Dragon is going to take a turn right at the end. However, if I basic, my R5 is probably going to skip the queue. Probably going to jump in over here. Yep, he just jumped in front of the Krayt Dragon, which is great. Going to basic over here. I'm going to use this first special right now because I want to get rid of his armor penetration, his defense penetration, whatever it is. Yeah, and I also hopefully put a debuff on him. Good, because the debuffs that he has are going to lower his damage. I'm also going to burn him because I want to get burning on him. And then I'm just going to basic to try and get defense down. Didn't land the defense down, but we did get more buffs. So if you're in a situation like this, you got R5 right before the Krayt Dragon is about to erupt, you can use this first special. Now look at the score we're getting right now. 28%, use the first special, it puts retribution on everybody. Boom, 28% goes up to 34%. 6% jump, not too shabby. Gonna basic, and now because he's got that provoked, he is going to be counter-attacking Zeb. It's not going to do a load of damage because all of it gets resisted, and Zeb is dodging as well, which is rather nice. More, and I'm just going to basic over here because we just want to keep on putting some damage, hopefully get some defense down on him, all that good business. You might get lucky there and have your Drogon survive so he can put another Keen Stratagem out. I would put it most likely on Ward so she can get that defense down. We're just going to basic again. He's going to do his basic next, and this is the only time, more or less, that he's going to do his basic. Everybody's dazed, so I'm just going to basic. And then I'm going to use first special targeting Zeb to get defense up. Defensuals up. All right, let's just keep going. There's basic over here. We could do the assist, so I'm going to call in R5 because it does more damage, essentially. We might as well. And then, yeah, I'm going to use this first special because he's about to burrow and you'll get that locked provoked and we'll get rid of that armor penetration up. So counterattacks, does no damage, goes underground, wonderful. So once again, I'm going to try. I don't think R5 will actually loop back around, but I think it's better for us. Yes, he did anyway. Amazing. Just going to basic, hopefully get that defense down, but we didn't. Basic, basic, basic. And once again, look at us. We're at 66%. This is going to hurt. 73%. See, it's a really, really respectable damage increase over there when you manage to get that setup done. So I'm going to go ahead and put defense up on us. Actually, I shouldn't have done that. We're about to get spewed on anyway. We're going to lose R5 now, which is a shame because R5 brings the John DiMaggio. That's just basic. And use that first special. Cleanse off that armor penetration up. Just basic. Basic. And we're down to just Carson Tiva now. So I might as well call the assist. Call yourself to assist, buddy. 86%. This wasn't a great run. Normally I get Drogon to survive and I can call in another assist. But this team seems to be, for me, based on where I am, the best performing team in terms of damage output. We're already past 90% over here. He's not going to last much longer. We might get one more attack in over here. 93. Oh, look at that. We got lucky. Get another attack in. 94%. So all in all, that wasn't a terrible, terrible run. 94%. Very, very respectable. I think if you are in sort of the late game, 97 was my highest. Like, we might be able to get some really good RNG and push that further, but that definitely seems to be the best performing team, at least for me, based on my error levels. Using that approach, I feel with R5 to get rid of, or to put that retribution up right before the Krayt Dragon comes out, it does a real big chunk of damage right back at that Krayt Dragon, and I think that's definitely the way to go. Now, if you are at lower error levels, you will probably have better performance with things like the Death Trooper lead, maybe using Scout Trooper, or maybe even going in with Momo for some survivability, or even using stuff like a Cara Dune lead. It really depends on your spread of your error levels and what you've got on your marquees in terms of stars and stuff like that. I'm just sharing what worked for me. Hopefully it also works just a little bit for you. Let me know how you get on in Colosseum, what team comps have you been using, and I will see you all in the very next video. Peace out, and may the Force be with you.